Yeah, okay, time to live free. Plenty goals I'm achieving. Some real life topics and talking financial freedom. Mindset, soul and love, everything in between. This is Freedom Podcast. Tune in, live free. Hey, got my mindset right and I got the drive. Planning one day, no more job, no more 9 to 5. Love, money, mind. Love, money, mind. This is Freedom. Tune in, cause it's going down. Woo!
Hi, this is Anna and welcome to another episode of Your Freedom Podcast. In this episode, I interview Loren Ridinger. Loren is the co-founder and senior executive vice president of the internet retailing giant Market America and Shop.com. Loren has changed the face of the beauty and e-commerce industry for nearly 3 decades. And in addition to building her company, Market America and Shop.com, she is the creator of the award-winning cosmetics line, Motives, and the solution-orientated beauty brand, Fix. She has an iconic style and she is established as one of the leading fashion influencers of today, having been named both Vogue's top 100 influential women and Huel Living magazine's most influential people in New York and Miami. She recently received the 2019 Global Gift Philanthropy Award. Loren earned the Woman of Substance and Style Award from Fashion Group International for her continued contributions to the fashion and beauty industry. And her and her husband have been selected as well as the top 100 power couples in Miami recently. She's got a passion for helping others, and it's led to her continued involvement in many charities and different causes. She works for the American Heart Association too, and the Make-A-Wish Foundation and Jennifer Lopez Foundation, and many, many more. I connected with Loren recently in the Clubhouse app, and I am so grateful she gave me her time to be interviewed today. So really looking forward to this one. And I do, because I know how busy I can get, and I can imagine your world is even busier. So
well, I'm proud of you though. You've done a kick-ass job, right? Being a badass survivor of domestic abuse, which is huge, right? I mean, it takes real, I guess, real strength to get through that and pull out of it, right?
Definitely. And so I really appreciate, I'm recording now, so I really appreciate you spending this time, because
I'm so happy.
The reason I wanted to put this podcast together, I put it together back in July, and the reason is that exactly what we just said then, going through such a dark period in my life, but really not ever being a victim. You know, I'm one of those people that was like, I'm not accepting to be a victim. And I am really proud of myself, because last year was like my year of all years as well, because I was featured in Forbes magazine, I wrote a book.
Baby.
And at the end of 2020 as well, I won champion spot of, you know, I don't know if you're aware of DH Gate in China.
Not sure, no.
You know,
DH Gate, of course,
yeah.
Yes. I thought you said a girl's name, but yes, DH Gate, of course I know.
My accent.
And Alibaba, right? Is he still missing? They were looking for him. I'm like, what happened to him?
Well, DH Gate were doing a female Connect Women Power Award, and it was sharing stories and successes and all that, and I won it at the end of last year, so I felt super pumped at the beginning of this year to kind of go out there and just inspire people, really, because everybody goes through something.
They do, they do, and I think what you went through is such a great message that you should be sharing with everybody.
So it's just great to get you on, because for you are like the ultimate e-com queen in my eyes.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
With everything that you've done with like Market America and
Shop.com, it's been a journey for sure. It's been an incredible journey. 29 years now. It's hard to believe.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm getting old. I keep thinking 29 years. Damn. Why does time go so fast?
And I know that also you head up some major sort of beauty brands or cosmetic brands and jewelry, I was reading the other day as well.
Yes.
And I've seen that you and your husband have been voted like the top 100 power couples as well. So you're doing amazing stuff. And
oh, thank you. Well, he's pretty amazing too. I always say that, you know, we're only as good as our partner, right? Because as you know, right, that you have to be with somebody who supports you and encourages you and wants you to make it along the way, and doesn't have that kind of, you know, jealousy, that underlying jealousy that kind of, you know, ruins the whole vibe for everybody. You want everybody, there's enough room for everybody to make it.
Exactly. So super cool to get you on here. And I just wanted to, like, one of my first questions really was, you know, I believe that everybody's gone through some kind of adversity or challenge, you know, whether it be business or personal. And obviously, I only want you to share what you're comfortable to share. But, you know, I think sometimes, though, for me especially, I felt like my lowest has actually anchored me to fuel, because now I feel like I've got this meaning in all this suffering, because I'm out there. You know, women send me messages saying how I've inspired them by certain things that I've done. So it's really awesome that I've been able to do that. And if I hadn't been,
your story inspired me. I think your story inspires me. I think it's a story that it's a message that has to be told, that you know, I wish more women would speak about, because I think it would give the women strength where they're missing it, you know, and I think that's so important. But yeah, I think we all deal with, you know, those challenges in our life. For me, particularly outside of business, I believe, you know, my biggest challenge, you know, I've had quite a few, but I think the biggest one, besides losing my own parents at a young age, was in 2015, I was diagnosed with a brain aneurysm.
Right. Okay.
And that was a really big one for me, because, you know, I'm so active and I'm young still. And I just, like you are. And so, you know, I just was shocked, because I knew it was something I had to deal with. It was really large. And, you know, it was something that I found out like a week before our international convention, our like big 25th or something. And it was like one of our biggest events of like 25,000 people, which, you know, I lead with my husband. And my husband said to me, well, you know, we can't go. We'll have all the reasons in the world not to go. I said, well, listen, if I'm going to die anyway, I'm going to die going out of winter. I'm going. There's nothing going to stop me from going. And, you know, the doctors were kind of thinking I was crazy, because, you know, you get on the plane and you have all types of altitude and air pressure. And he was like, it's probably not a smart idea. And I was like, listen, I've gone this long not knowing I had this thing. And now you tell me it's so big. And I was having symptoms of a burst, you know, coming on at any moment, really severe symptoms. But I said, I got to go one more time and do this thing. And then as soon as I land, I'll come do the surgery. And that's what I did. And it really changed my life, because, you know, I thought about all the things around me and the people around me, my children, my daughter, my you know, my everything. And I think, you know, when you have those type of incidents happen in your life, and wake up calls, you know, you have your husband. Yeah, you have you know, I was more worried, I think, about my husband and my daughter and what would they do and get on without me. But I think, you know, we just pulled together as a family. My husband and I we created a hashtag called Faith Over Fear. And everybody started writing about it. You know, the New York newspapers and Miami papers, everybody was really, you know, pushing behind me, saying, hey, you know, faith over fear. And I really went in there and videoed the whole thing, the whole experience, shared that message with everybody. And it was probably one of my most watched videos, and one of the things I'm most proud of, because I think I've talked to so many women and men along the way after my own surgery, and have helped other women and men, I believe, really fully recover and get well and not be afraid to go through it, you know?
Yeah, because I think I think sometimes, though, when you go through stuff like that, it makes you value all those little things that you just take for granted. Because that's how I felt going through stuff. Small things, isn't it? Or you worry about those, like when it's a health thing, I'm sure you'd worry about.
Well, you know, I worried about the craziest things. Like I wrote I didn't want to ever have that conversation where it was like, okay, guys, so we know we have a very good chance that something could go wrong on the table, or, you know, it could burst, because I was already so close to it bursting as it was. And I didn't want to have that sit down conversation with my daughter, for sure, and not my husband, because I didn't know how they would handle it. So I wrote him a letter. I was like, make sure you give her money every week. Make sure you call her 3 times a day, you know, and she's a grown woman. But I just felt the need as a mother and a wife to say those things that I feel like, you know, our husbands have a tendency to take for granted, because we pick up the phone a lot and quite often call our children, and we have that conversation that maybe they won't, because they know, well, mom's calling or whatever. So I wanted to kind of outline those things that were really important to me, which were to make the phone call, give her money, she won't ask for it, those type of things.
Yeah. Bless you. So yeah, no, that's thanks for sharing that, because I think it would have been a difficult time, but it sounds like use a similar mindset to me, where you kind of think, right, I'm not going to let this beat me. I'm going to kind of turn it into a positive and help other people as well, like with the hashtag and all that
Absolutely.
kind of
Well, look
stuff.
what you did. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I think when you take something that you've been through that, other people don't expect to go through it, there's a message to share. And I remember my husband was like, "Are you sure you want to video this to everybody?" But for me, it was like, yes, I feel like we need to get that message out. At the time, you're in your early 40s and you're thinking to yourself, like, how is this happening? Your
Yeah.
whole world could be turned upside down and you think everything's going so well. And it was just like a kind of a standstill moment where, like you said, you have to stop and smell all the roses around you.
Yeah. Well done for getting through all
Thank
that.
you.
And so, I mean, you've been ultimately successful with loads of stuff that you've done along the way. What do you think has been your kind of like proudest moment, really?
Oh my gosh. I think
You've probably had loads.
there's so many proud moments, I think, along the way. I obviously the birth of our company has been one of my most proud moments, beside the birth of my daughter and my grandchildren. Those are the most important moments of my life. But I think for me, the fact that we were able to build a very successful e-commerce business when back in 92, nobody was thinking about shopping online, right?
Yeah,
That was preposterous. Who was going to try on clothes? Everybody went to the store to try on clothes. Everybody went to the store to try on makeup. And, here we were in 92 thinking that people would actually go online and buy their clothes and pick up their makeup and buy their skincare. And sure enough, here we are in a world today that's what a lot of people in this past year, most people do, right?
Exactly.
So
I've been selling on Amazon since 2013, but obviously I'd seen all that kind of stuff that and then boom, last year.
it
It must
boomed.
have been amazing for you, like with all the foundations that you've created.
Yeah, we actually, I hate to brag about it, but we actually, have been set up for this type of situation.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so we've actually really thrived during the pandemic, although I would much rather see the rest of the world thrive with us and be not a pandemic, because it's good for everyone to do well. And that's what I think people get confused about. Some people are like, oh my God, we're doing so well and everybody's doing so bad. That's great for us. And then people are price gouging people and, running the prices up, and it drives me crazy. But truth of the matter is, if the rest of the world does good, we can all do well.
Yeah.
And I think, certainly we've been through our own challenges, though, because even though the e-commerce business for us has been amazing, and, we have so many, what we call little entrepreneurs all across the world, 150 some thousand plus little entrepreneurs that make money with our business at shop.com and Market America, you still worry about human interaction, right? This missing of this me and you, we can sit here and we feel like we're together, but there's nothing like giving a girl a hug.
Exactly.
Human touch. And I think that is essential for daily living. So those type of things still worry me as a woman, as a person, as somebody who's connected to people.
I think that's what was great about Clubhouse, because obviously we met
through there.
That I think everything with social media, everyone puts all these perfect posts on, don't they? But there isn't, even like my parents, because my parents live a couple of hours drive away, so they're not round the corner as such. I'm not seeing them for a while because we've been in a lockdown. But even with my mum, I WhatsApp her, and I think we just need to pick up the phone more. Of course, I speak to her, but I think that's what's great about Clubhouse, is that voice and tone.
It does make you feel a little bit better, doesn't it?
It does. Even though, like you say, you want to be able to just give someone a hug.
Yeah, you want to, like, if I'm there right now with you, you're used to hugging somebody and being like, oh my God, human touch. And it's so funny because you beg for it when you don't have it. And it's hard to believe. Like, I always tease my family right now. I'm like, I need new faces around me. You guys are driving me crazy because, we haven't left the house since March of last year. And we're super conscious because my one grandson has asthma. So we're super conscious of that. So we're all in this together, right? But, we're going to get through it. I can't wait till everybody gets well again.
Exactly. I've had a close family member that's in hospital right now, which is a bit hoping that he's going to pull through. So
it's tough. It's tough. I have a few friends myself. It is tough. You think that most people overcome it well, and then you find that one friend, right?
Yeah, it's strange. It's a strange one, isn't it, at the moment?
It's like, what is happening? You're the healthiest of everybody. How are you in the hospital for 2 weeks? And, they're recovering, and sending prayers out to Yardley because he's in the hospital. But, we just, you don't know what it is that causes it to get that one person.
No,
Scary.
Exactly. So because there's going to be people that are listening to this who, and probably mainly women, although I have interviewed an equal number of men and women, but I do tend to have a lot more girls, the kind of that whole
we
girl
have more in
power
common,
follow,
right?
yeah. So for people who maybe because I get a lot of people who follow me because I run a training program helping them start an Amazon business and expanding through building their own e-commerce store and things like that. And for people who were going to start on that journey, are there any sort of tips that you want to kind of share with them?
Yeah, sure. I think I really do believe, and my husband taught me this a long time ago. I really do believe that doing the hardest thing first is the most important thing that people can do. I'm a really big believer. I hate procrastination. And I hate it because I know it'll get me nowhere, right? So it's not because I'm just being nasty and I don't like it. It's just, it doesn't accomplish anything. You get nowhere. So you have to eliminate that procrastination, right? And I truly believe that as to be successful, you have to do the hardest things first, right? Because those are the things we have a tendency to avoid.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether it's to pick up the phone and call the person who may make a difference, or somebody that you look up to and you want to get information from them, or somebody that you may be able to make that sale to, but you're afraid to do it. You got to do those hard steps first. And so I build my day like with the most important things at the top and all the things that are not important at the bottom. So here's the good news. You do the hardest things first. Usually by lunchtime, you're done. If you don't want to work the rest of the day, you're good.
Have you ever read that book, Eat That Frog?
I don't think so.
It's just about that. It basically says start the day by eating that frog, and it's the one thing that you put off and you procrastinate. I'm
gonna get the book. I'm gonna get the book.
It's pretty cool.
That's amazing. I'm gonna get the book, but I got to tell you, I haven't read it. But I have always subscribed to the policy that if you don't do those things first, you will never get to them. Let's face it, we're all natural born procrastinators, right? And so what happens is, right, we have the intention of doing all the things we need to do to succeed. And we know what they are. We put them down on paper. We read them. We practice what we're going to do. And then all of a sudden the girlfriend calls like, well, let's just have lunch first. Like, okay, well, I can do lunch first. And then, before you know it, did you see what happened? Our friends just broke up and they're fighting back and forth. And the next thing you know, you're in the middle of that.
We do the easy things though, don't we? It's like you've got to make yourself feel uncomfortable to me. That's why.
Yes. And actually, that's funny that you mentioned the word uncomfortable, because it's another big segment that I talk about quite often with my own groups. Is that, we all live in what we believe is this comfort zone, right? That we don't want to step out of because it's uncomfortable to do what you're doing, Anna, to get behind a microphone and have that conversation. It's uncomfortable, Loren, to get up there and do what you do, which is speak in front of thousands of people. But the truth of the matter is, what's uncomfortable is staying at home and doing nothing. Because your life isn't any better, right? Nothing really changes in that world. You come, you wake up, you go to work, you wake up, you go to work, you wake up, you drive your kids to school, wake up, drive your kids to soccer practice, you go to work, you go back to sleep, you go back and you do the same thing again. Before you know it, you've basically dug yourself a grave.
Yeah.
And it's a rut you can't get out of. And I think that people don't realize that we're this close. One step out of that comfort zone is where you really find freedom.
Definitely.
One step out of the box. And certainly I tell people it's uncomfortable to get where you want to be, right? It's never easy to succeed.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of people think it is easy when they see people that are successful. They think, oh, it's okay for them. There's that attitude. I'm like, no, you've got to do the work, and you've got, like you say, you've got to go in to do things that are uncomfortable, or
exactly
you've got to stretch yourself basically and put yourself in positions. And so what if you mess up? You learn from that.
Nobody knows if you mess up. That's the funny thing. Nobody even knows if you mess up. And that's why I try to tell people, you got to step out of that comfort zone, because people say, oh my God, I don't know how you go up and speak on stage. Or they probably say to you too, like, how do you go up there and interview people? They don't understand. This is the easy part. It's the process that it takes to get to this point in life. That process is where the real work comes in. And most people aren't willing to do the work. That's the sad part of it. If they did, they would succeed. I always tell people, if you really want to be successful, it's not that hard. Most people don't try.
Yeah, exactly.
Most people don't show up, right?
They don't. Brilliant. Well, we're coming to the end now. I always ask everybody on this podcast, what does freedom mean to you? Because it's called Your Freedom Podcast. And we have 3 pillars: love, money, and mind. Love is all about self-care and self-love. it's not about romantic relationships, but, you know, looking after you.
Yes.
But money obviously is financial freedom, and then mind is, you know, your mindset and just being free to be able to not limit yourself really. Because I feel like those three things,
100%.
especially with self-care, have really helped me get that equilibrium really. So
yeah, self-love.
Freedom means different things to other people. What does freedom mean to you?
You know, freedom means to be able to do the things that I want to do when I want to do them, with whom I want to do them with, while I'm also helping other people succeed. And for me, that's what real freedom is. I think that, you know, you get to this place in your life where you know the things that you really want and the things you don't. And I do believe that, you know, people have to really be aware of the people that they surround themselves with, the people that they associate themselves with. It's really important to love yourself. And if you don't love yourself first, right, like we just talked about, you can't love other people. But once you love yourself first, the interesting thing is you attract the coolest people ever, right?
Exactly.
And it's really amazing. And when you can attract the coolest people ever, and you work to help other people succeed while you succeed, what more could you possibly want?
Yeah, brilliant. I love that. Really
Thank you so much. It's true.
Really, really value your time, because I know you're a busy lady, and
you're a doll. Anytime you want to talk, I'm here for you.
Oh, thank you. No, it's been great having you on the show. So really do appreciate your time.
Oh, Anna, you're wonderful. I'm so proud of you too. Thank you so much for having me.
If you're ever in Birmingham,
I'll come see you. We'll have dinner.
Dinner. Yeah, exactly.
I would love that. Thank you, sweetie.
Yeah,
call me anytime.
Yeah,
we can do this again next month.
Yeah, brilliant. All right, great stuff. See you soon. Thank you.
Bye, honey. Take care. Bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Your Freedom Podcast. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes and subscribe on my YouTube channel. And if you want to get more freedom in your life, then come and join Your Freedom Project Facebook group, which the link is below in the comments section. And I am giving you a copy of my visualization manifesting book. So manifest more freedom in your life and live the life of your dreams.
Hey, thank you for listening. Hope you had a blast. Here to elevate your life. It's the Freedom Podcast. Love, money, mind. Love, money, mind. Wanna see you all win. Wanna see you all shine. Just make sure that you subscribe. Bringing good vibes. Join the Facebook group. Now it's time to change your life. Hope you come back. Right now is the chance. This is an experience. It's the Freedom Podcast. Hey.